guys. So, yes, I'm recording this on my phone because I am out of town and the camera that I brought isn't compatible with my memory card, of course. But, I thought I would try something new today where I talk to you guys about a story while I'm getting ready, and I kind of got this idea off of Colleen. She was doing like a bathroom banter. But I'm only gonna do stuff like this when I actually have a story to tell. And so obviously, as you can see, I'm out of town, so this story involves the getting here process of the airport. And yeah, so I'm gonna figure out how to set this up and just get into the story. Okay, so let's see here. I'm in Nebraska, and I left to come here on Tuesday. I was flying here with my stepsisters, and we had a flight that left at 8:15 in the morning. It was supposed to be a 2-hour flight, landed in Chicago, and had a 2-hour layover, and then we would get to Nebraska about 2:30 in the afternoon. Okay, so I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning because I get really bad motion sickness, and I wanted to make sure I was like very awake and ready to go. We left the house at 6, got to the airport like 6:45, went through security, all that was going great. My lotion. We get to our gate, we're sitting there, and I was just listening to the announcements and realized that our gate had been changed since last night when we had like screenshotted our boarding passes. So we found the new gate and we were sitting there, and it was like 5 minutes until we had to board. And all of a sudden they were like, there is going to be a delay and your flight is not going to take off until 9:30. So like almost an hour and a half delay. And it was because of maintenance issues. And then they were like, oh yeah, and your gate has changed again. So we go to our new gate, and we're sitting there. Now at this point, I had already taken my like Dramamine, which is motion sickness medicine, and it puts me to sleep. So I'm just sitting there like half asleep, like trying to stay awake. And all of a sudden, they go, your flight has been canceled. Awesome. And they told us, everyone, all of us, to go to the customer service down at a different gate. And so everyone that was supposed to be on our flight is now waiting in this long line to get new flights. Well, we were near the back of the line, so we also called like the 800 number, and we got ourselves a new flight. But this new flight was going to take us through Denver instead of Chicago. And going through Denver means a 4-hour flight going past Nebraska, like a 4-hour layover, and then a 1-hour flight back to Nebraska. And we wouldn't get in until 10:30 at night. We were not really happy about that, but there was nothing else we could really do. So we're just like, whatever, like we got a new flight, we're gonna get there today. Well, we stayed in line because we needed to get some type of compensation. It wasn't a weather delay, so we should have gotten something back. So we stayed in line, and we were also gonna see if at the counter they could get us a better flight. So we get to the counter after waiting in that line for an hour, may I just point that out, and the lady was like, okay, we have a better flight that would get you into Nebraska at 5:30 p.m., which is 3 hours later than normal, but at least it wasn't 10. Like, it was so much better than 10, and it would go through Chicago. So again, it would only be like 2-hour flights versus like the 5 hours of flying. So we're like, yeah, we'll do that. She goes, okay, well, you need to go to a different airport. So we're like, okay. And she's like, we will give you vouchers for the transportation over there. So we get the vouchers, we get all that set up, we get our new boarding passes, we go down to the bottom to where the van transportation is. We also, the only other compensation they could give us was $7 for airport food, like, which was ridiculous after all of that. So then we waited probably 20 minutes for the van to finally show up. The van ride was 45 minutes, and the guy driving was absolutely terrifying. He was going like 80 miles an hour, like passing people like crazy. It was scary. And there was like 8 of us in the van, so it was very scary. We get to the new airport, again, go through security, get to our gate, waited a little while because we had thankfully gotten there kind of early, got some food in our system because we hadn't yet eaten, boarded the plane. Now at this point, it had been 4 hours since since I had taken my medicine. 3 hours since we were originally supposed to take off. So I again had to take my medicine. That plane ride was 2 hours. It was really smooth. It was great. I slept. We landed in Chicago. We had to take a little transportation bus to our new gate because Chicago is a huge airport. We get to that gate. We had probably an hour until boarding. We're just sitting there relaxing, and all of a sudden they're like, your flight has been delayed 30 minutes because the new plane hasn't showed up. So we're like, okay, this is just makes sense with how our day was going. Then we were waiting there probably like 15 minutes before like our new takeoff time, and we hadn't started boarding, and I was like, we aren't gonna take off on time again. They delayed it another 30 minutes, and then like another 20. So we were supposed to take off at 4 originally, and now our new scheduled takeoff time was 5:20. And so we boarded the plane at like 5, and one of my stepsisters, she's like, we're not taking off at 5:20. There's no way. It's 5 o'clock right now. And I was like, yeah, I know. I ended up falling asleep because I again had to take my medicine. I wake up at 6. We still hadn't taken off. We had sat in the plane for an hour. So on top of an hour and a half delay, it ended up being like over 2-hour delay. We take off at like 6:05. The pilot kind of knew and felt bad about the fact that our flight had been delayed, so he went faster. I guess he made the plane go faster than it normally would for a flight like that. So the flight was supposed to be an hour and 45 minutes, and he turned into an hour, so we landed at like 7:05, which that was really nice because it did help. But again, we were now landing at 7 when from start it was supposed to be 2:30, and then it was supposed to be 5:30, and now it was 7. So yeah, we got into Nebraska at 7 o'clock at night, which gave us a total travel time. Now, there was an hour time difference, so from where we left, it was 8 o'clock at that point. So from when we left at like 6 o'clock in the morning, we had been traveling for like 14 hours. But yeah, it was just like, it was kind of like comical at that point because it was like, well, what else could possibly go wrong, you know? But thankfully, like the 3 of us, like we all had each other. Like if any of us had been there alone, it would have been a lot worse. Like I know I personally would have just like freaked out, and I don't know. But we got there safe and sound. Like the actual flights themselves were all very safe. That was great. We landed, and my stepbrother picked us up, dropped my stepsisters off, and then him and I went to this like campsite place where we were gonna go dirt biking. We get there, it was like 2 hours away. We go out on their Jeep on some of the trails, get back, it downpoured, rained so much that the next day we couldn't take the dirt bikes out. I was kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like the cherry on top of how my day's been. Sorry, guys. But like overall, it wasn't like a big deal, you know. Plane stuff happened, all of us were safe, but I just thought it was like really funny and a story that I wanted to share with you guys. Oh, let me finish this. Okay guys, so that's pretty much it for this story. I am going to finish getting ready, like doing my hair, and then I am going shopping and out to lunch with my aunt. But let me guys know if you liked that video. My friends tell me all the time how I need to like actually talk in my vlogs, and The reason I don't is because the camera that I use to record like a lot of those different ones is a bigger camera. It's not one you can easily like turn around and talk with. So I'm gonna try to get a smaller camera soon, but I don't know, I thought this was kind of fun and like a little story time. So tell me if you guys enjoyed it as well, and I'll try to do more if you did. But yeah, that is all for today, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.